you're just a regular person again. And I think you have to have that balance, that edge, that competitive spirit. And I think a lot of our kids have shown that over the years. When they walk across those white lines with a helmet and their chin strap all buckled up, there's nothing that matters more to them at that time than to be as competitive and as great as you can be and win that game. And it's not win at all costs, because when they step back across the white line, they're a student again. They're a citizen. They're just a regular kid, just like yourselves are. So it's finding that fine balance, and it is. It's a fine balance, because you want to give it your all when you're out there, but you have to understand when you're back across the white line, it is just a game at the end of the day, but it's a heck of a game, and you can learn a lot from it. So those are some things that I think that are really good, and have been really positive for our program. Another thing I like to touch on is when you're on the field is you want to be relentless. And I know my best example I can give you is from a player who played quite a long time ago. Obviously, all the adults know. I know Coach Cameron knows who he is. He's probably one of the best Giants of all time. That's Lawrence Taylor. When he played football, if you watched him play, and I know when I'm talking to the young guys here, all you can do is watch the old NFL films. And if you've ever seen Lawrence Taylor play, they're just never give up. And when he played, you can say what you want about the guy. When he played, it was a relentlessness that I'm going to make sure that they know who I am and they know who the New York Giants are. And if you watch them play, you could see a quarterback drop back to pass and kind of take a glance over the shoulder, a little subtle glance, of course, and to see where he's coming from, because he knew darn well that he was going to be there, because he never, ever gave up. Just when you think you had him blocked, he's coming back again for more. And we like to talk to our kids about being relentless. Don't give up. Play the next play as if it has a life of its own. Play it that way, because when that play's over, the next one's coming, and you want to be at your best that next play. And I think that's things that we preach to our kids to make sure that they're giving their best effort all the time. And I like to think that they do that more times than they don't. And it's a hard thing to do, and it's hard to get yourself to be able to do that, play after play. But if you do it more times than not, you're going to be successful more times than not. And again, we've been very fortunate, very fortunate. One of our best players a few years back, and I mentioned his name, was Paul Layton. When you talk about a kid like Paul, you never talk about the type of, he's not going to win a race. He's not going to throw the ball farther than somebody. But what he's going to do is he's going to outthink you. He's going to outwork you. He's going to make decisions faster than you. And those are all the intangibles that made him great. And he kind of was like that first guy that when we step back and look at some things, we're like, wow, you can do a lot of great things without being the fastest guy out there, without being the tallest or the strongest guy out there. As long as you believe in yourself and believe in your teammates, you can do a lot of great things. And I think that's what's so great about the game of football, is that, it's, in all sports in general, it's a metaphor for life, but you have to rely so much on the person next to you in the game of football, and you have to rely so much upon the guy behind you, and maybe the guy that's your backup, so much in this game that you do in a lot of the other sports. And when you have to rely on so many people like that, you don't want to let them down. The offensive line is so much different than the quarterback, which is so much different than the running back, which is so much different than the receivers. Then you add all the defensive personnel in. Everybody has a different role, a different job. It's unlike any other sport. In baseball, you throw and catch, but every position throws and catches. In basketball, you dribble, you shoot, you play defense a certain way. Everybody has to do that, have the same skill. In football, there are so many different skills that have to come together in order to be a really good team. That's why it's such a difficult sport to play. That's why those intangibles are so important. You have to rely on other people. You have to rely on the biggest guy, the smallest guy, the fastest guy, the slowest guy. You have to rely on those people. And I think that's what's so great about the game, is that you can bring that out into the real world when you're off the field, because that's what the real world is made up of.